Baseball is in trouble. Everybody's worried, except nobody cares. Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
I'm all right. How are you, pal?
I'm great because today is an anniversary, and I'm an anniversary kind of guy.
Good anniversary or bad anniversary?
Well, it's a very interesting question, Evan. For some, a very good anniversary. For others, not such a good anniversary. But being a anniversary celebratory type of cat like I am, I love anniversaries.
What year?
What year? 18 years ago today.
18 years, 2022 minus 18 is
2004. That's right. That's right.
February 16th, Oh, I know.
Don't say it.
I'm not going to say it.
Don't you say it.
I'm going to write it down, though.
Write it down. See if Evan knows what it is. 18 years ago today, and I'll give you a hint. The New York sports world underwent a seismic change. Evan's got it. He wrote it down.
Nailed it.
Nice job on that, Evan.
I remember everything about that, yes.
Yes.
Seismic.
So if you are, it's funny. I can't believe it's 18 years. It's crazy how fast time flies by, right? But it was 18 years ago today. So if you are, frankly, you almost have to be 30 years old to remember this moment. All right? Because if you're 25, you're only a 7-year-old, and you probably get it.
Oh, you were excited as a kid, weren't you?
18 years ago today, Alex Rodriguez became a New York Yankee.
And didn't become a Boston Red Sox. Because
Exactly
remember,
right.
that entire offseason was about ARod's going to be a Red Sox.
Yeah.
ARod's going to be a Red Sox. Deal falls through, and then he's a Yankee. Oh, it was incredible.
18 years ago today, life changed. How many World Series is he going to bring the New York Yankees? Is he going to play shortstop? Will he move over to third base? Does he get along with Derek Jeter? Will the Yankees ever lose another game? Of course, we know the answer to that, sadly. The Yankees got a single World Series win with Alex Emmanuel Rodriguez. He did steroids throughout the majority of his Yankee career. He got divorced. He dated strippers. He dated actresses. He dated singers who became actresses, then went back to singing again. But all the while, he did steroids. He denied ever doing them. And he only brought New York a single championship.
An A-bomb from ARod.
You left out a few important things. He had a painting of himself as a centaur. Include that.
Sat on a Central Park Rock with no shirt on.
Central Park Rock, no shirt on.
He got caught coming out of Madonna's apartment.
Yes.
Where he claimed to be celebrating the Sabbath.
And he sued Major League Baseball.
And he sued Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Not to mention...
Oh, and he opted out in the middle of the World Series.
Ken Rosenthal reported during the World Series that ARod was opting out. And yes, he hit a gazillion home runs.
I did needed that.
So I'm just wondering, for those of you that could have that were around to appreciate the ARod New York tabloid run, how do you feel about it today?
That's a great question.
Like, it's all these years later. He's now been out of baseball for the better part of more than half a decade now. He's still in our homes every freaking weekend. You know, this deal with ESPN, et cetera, and Fox and whatnot, right? But how do you feel about it today? Was it a success? Was it a failure? Did it live up to expectations?
Well, no. That part is the easiest. Everything else is such a fascinating question. You're right.
Yeah.
But that last part is easy. Did it live up to expectations?
No.
No.
No?
No.
Yes!
No. No.
No?
And no.
Yes! No?
No.
No.
Yes!
No.
Yes! I don't know what side you're on that. You won a World Series with him. He hit a gazillion home runs.
No. Yankee fans'
He was an
expectations.
MVP?
Doesn't matter. Yankee fans' expectations.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I was doing sports talk radio in Baltimore, Maryland when this deal went down,
There
Craig.
you go.
And it was the biggest story ever down there. You want to know why?
Why?
Because they hate the New York Yankees.
Aha!
And so to them, they said, this isn't fair. This is bad for baseball. Nobody can beat them. You even said it. Will the Yankees ever lose? Well, ask yourself this, Craig. How many times did they go to the World Series in the ARod era?
Not as many as they were hoping to.
No, the answer is one.
against the Philadelphia Phillies in 2009.
And there's no Yankee fan, no Oriole fan, no anything fan who sat there on February 16th, 2004 and said, you know what? He's going to finish his career with the Yankees, and they're going to win once.
Okay.
Everybody thought, here's another dynasty.
Here's the real question for you. Hey, listen, you have to be a diehard Yankee fan, I guess, to answer this question. If you could go back and do it again,
Well, that's a good question.
would you?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because you have a World Series, and he had one of the great runs any player's ever had in this town. So let's not take that away from him. 2009 was just stupid. What he did that year, I mean, Triple Crown type stuff. One of the great single seasons any Yankees ever had. So we acknowledge that. We're not taking that away from him. But if you could do it again, would you have gone down that road again?
Craig, if you remember a few weeks ago, and it brought us so much joy doing it, we recreated a world if Belichick had coached the Jets. Okay?
Yeah, that's right.
And it was a lot of fun. If for a second you envision a world in which they don't get ARod, you have to remember what probably happens next. And what happens next has a great impact on the future of the New York Yankees, but also has a great impact on the future of the New York Mets.
Go ahead.
Because here's exactly what would have happened. All right? They don't make another big move in 2004. This is their team minus ARod. Do they get to the ALCS? Do they choke? I have no idea. But the following year, and this is a lock, the New York Yankees, no debate, would have signed Carlos Beltran, period, stop.
Okay.
That would have happened. So now you've got to envision. Beltran's a Yankee. ARod is somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe Boston, maybe the Mets, maybe. I have no idea. Does that world sound better to you?
Beltran and not ARod?
Because that's
not
what it would have
knowing
been.
who ARod's playing for. You can make the argument the Yankees don't win the World Series in 2009. That's a fair argument to be made.
Maybe.
Because he had one of the great seasons of his lifetime. Yeah, where would you be? Maybe you would have won more World Series.
There would be less drama. There would have been less, There
would have been less Tampa, Florida press conferences
Yes.
that you had to truck out the entire roster to
Right.
to show that they truly supported Alex Rodriguez,
Right.
which they did the first time, but they didn't all show up the second time.
It's always tough to figure, hey, what would have happened if this didn't happen? That's the only thing I could truly say with certainty.
I think
Beltran
I
would have
would-
been a Yankee, period.
Listen,
100%.
I was not a diehard Yankee then. I would think that you do it again. You do it again.
Well, did ARod keep the Yankees from winning? Seriously. I know he choked in the postseason in 04 in the ALCS after going up 3-0. I know he choked in 05 against the Angels. I know he choked against the Tigers in 06. There was a lot of choking going on. No doubt about it. But in this alternate universe, if Alex Rodriguez isn't a New York Yankee, and let's say we are just giving you Beltran,
Sure.
does that really mean the Yankees win 5 World Series?
I don't think it does.
Probably
it
not.
Can't. It can't.
I think the results are probably the same. Now, there are a lot of Yankee fans, as we sit here today, that just don't have a positive feeling towards Alex. So you can sit here all day and give his stats and talk about an MVP and talk about the one World Series in 09, but there's just going to be a lot of Yankee fans who look at ARod and they don't think of the good. They're going to think of the bad.
I mean, if you look at the stats, right? He
You can't deny it, bro.
350 home runs, batted over 280. Did everything. Had almost 800 walks, right?
He was a great player.
1,000 RBIs. His numbers are in the annals.
Yes.
For New York Yankee players. But he's Alex Rodriguez.
Also, though, you got to bring up the postseason numbers. And after that first round against Minnesota and the first 3 games against the Red Sox in 04, he went through a 4-year period until 09.
Yeah.
It changed in 09. They do not win a World Series without ARod in 09, which we do have to incorporate. I don't know if Beltran is ripping the cover off the ball in 09. If he isn't, they don't win in 09.
Yeah.
But he went through a long period of time, Craig, 04, 05, 06, 07, in which the numbers are the numbers. He choked. He choked in the playoffs.
18 years ago today. So, Big Mac, you're a legitimate diehard Yankee fan since birth. Mm-hmm. It's a very simple question.
Yes.
If you could go back in time, would you still make the trade?
Absolutely.
Bang.
Yeah.
Unequivocal. Absolutely.
Well, you know what? And here's why Big Mac's so right. I actually agree with you.
A single word, Evan. He answered my question.
He's right.
With a single word. Absolutely.
There's no guarantee you get 09.
Nope.
In this alternate universe.
And it's even more than just the championship. He was the driving force behind it. He killed the Angels.
No doubt.
In this, I know CeCe won the award. he could have been the MVP of that series. He was a monster. And then he was great in the World Series, too. He carried them to a
He
championship.
carried them. No, absolutely. And so for any
If he was
Yankee
just
fan,
along for the ride and had the MVPs, they won, but he was just another guy, wasn't as bad as
Right.
maybe previous years, but didn't do anything special, maybe I feel different. He brought them that championship.
If ARod's not a Yankee and Beltran is, Beltran would have had to have been Beltran with the Astros for the Yankees to win the World Series in 2009. You may lose one of your championships, and if you don't have that championship and you're a Yankee fan, you're sitting on a 22-year drought right now. The curse of the Subway Series. That exists if not for ARod. So I
All
agree.
right, so you agree? He agrees? The word is absolutely. But you're not the only voice on this. We'll get some calls on it as well. I love anniversaries because it lets you reminisce about the good and, of course, yes, the bad as well. But reminiscing is fun, especially these days. We got a bunch of football stuff for you. We got an update on the New York City mandates in the NBA. We've got James Harden. We've got some Kyrie. We've got some Super Bowl stuff. We've got some gambling news. We've got a full show locked and loaded for you.